tune in. I'm TC. This is MDRR Pod. Kill a little bit of time here. AVA, good to see you. And normally I got everybody waiting when I tell them I'm coming on live, but then again, they were probably expecting me right on the nose at 5:05, but I decided to get started a little early. Such a nice, wonderful gift for you guys that I'm early. So I'm so early. How is AVA? How are you doing, brother? Look how we're so lazy now. We all refer to each other as abbreviations, acronyms. You are first, yes. But yeah, don't know what happened to the chicken stream today, other than the one consistent issue that I have is that sometimes my computer just decides to restart itself and do updates during times when it thinks I'm not home. So I don't know. It's a little irritating because the chicken streams are kind of fun. It's a good way for me to connect. It gives the people, what the hell are people? Oh jeez. It gives my peeps a chance to see the peeps. They didn't really peep. I mean, the sparrows do, I guess. But the sparrows and the nuthatches and the finches. But I see there's somebody lurking in here not saying hi. That is not allowed. AV8, remind them that it's not allowed to just lurk. You have to say hi. We like it when people tell us hello and say, hey, I'm here and I'm watching from. I'm trying to, like, I've had some Russians. Hi Pam. Thanks for being here. I've had some Russians watching the chicken stream. That's been interesting. And of course we've got the infamous or famous Spliffy and Lil Lou watching from Scotland on a regular basis. So I tell you what, it's going to bed at 8:45 or 8:30 and getting up at 4:45 actually feels really good, but I find myself getting, far more tired far earlier than I ever used to, which is actually, makes a lot of sense. Lurking is not allowed. Not that we would know if you're lurking. We wouldn't know who the lurkers are, which is weird. Yeah, hit the like button. Definitely hit the like button. I think this is going to be one of those non-tense streams, by the way. I mean, I have an update that I want to give. It's the picture and the thumbnail, of course. But it's a story that I've been working on and covering for some time, since back in September. But yeah, we'll get there. Big shout out to the Angry Vet, Tav, and big shout out to IMAV, the two show producers, and then my anonymous show producer who has done amazing things for the work that I am doing, and I can't thank them all enough for what it is that they do to help me grow the channel and keep it going. So got a few people, two other channels like AVA. I would love for you guys to go check out AVA stuff, hit up his content. He has a really good story to tell, and he's been working on it from before I ever met him. So another story of another story of maltreatment and mistreatment and neglect by the Department of Veterans Affairs, or Veterans Affairs Administration. it's terrible what they do to vets. Love for you guys to go over and check out Vetter Nation. Skipper and I are in talks to change our weekly live show up to weekends. The reason why is because of how I've changed my schedule. I have changed my routine so that I'm going home and not staying up late doing streams. And so I'm doing my workouts in the morning, which I am not going to depart from. As most of you know, that it was changing my workout routine to morning time is what allowed me to intervene with Mrs. Minnesota, or Mrs. DC's heart attack situation. So I'm not superstitious, but I do stick to patterns once something like that happens. So I guess that makes me superstitious. I don't know. But yeah, so check out the Wilburns and Squid Pro Quo and Mr. Coop and those are the people who are putting out content on a regular basis. So I would definitely encourage you guys to check them out. Most of them are talking about stuff that I don't talk about, and that's absolutely fine. So I don't want anybody to... I will lurk in their chats. I will hit up their chats from time to time and see how things are going. They are in a... I have, in my own mind, I've come to call it the What the Hales fan club. And I know what's going on with the Hales on What the Hales channel, but I don't spend a lot of time looking into it because it's a far bigger channel than mine, and he's got a lot more traction than I do, and he's got a lot of people talking about, you know, his story and what he's got going on, so I don't need to, and these others do a great job of covering it, and so I don't feel the need. But if you want to know who the Hales are and you want to hear some how do I want to say it? If you want to hear some perspectives on what's going on with the Hales, hey Jugs, I would strongly encourage you to check out the Wilburns and Mr. Coop and Vetter Nation channel. Coffee Time with Skipper especially talks about the Hales a lot. And that's all I'll say about that. I'm not a What the Hales channel. But my friends are, and they have some interesting stories to tell. So there's that. But check out all those people. Oh, hey, urban conservative. Everybody, say hi to Chaz. He's there's a long story behind Chaz and I did have him on at one time to talk a little bit about where we started and where we came from and how we ended up finding ourselves allied in the fight against injustice in southeast Minnesota. It's a very interesting story where he came from and where I came from, and yeah, it's very compelling. Maybe I'll have him on sometime again to tell that story. You guys, my people would probably enjoy that. Yeah, Wabasha County is another great place for us to start focusing some attention. Chaz, it's I've got my hands full. Pam's story and Marcy's story, and nowhere near done with Marcy's, and I'm definitely nowhere done. I have to step back and regroup on Pam's story, not in a months and months and months down the roadway, but I am pulling some threads on Pam's story and some things there that I want to have all my ducks in a row before I pull too hard on some of these threads that I'm pulling on, because Pam got done dirty, but she got done more dirty than I think a lot of people realize, and it's all over the place in Wabasha County. It's not just the Plainview, Minnesota Police Department and their chief. So here's an example. Pam put in a data request to find out what they were trying to charge her with, and Tim replied to her yesterday and is basically continuing to refuse, citing law. So I am not 100% convinced that the law shields a law enforcement agency from releasing what they were going to charge you with. And guys, the child protection stuff is not just those counties. It is a terrible, terrible, terrible racket taking place all over the state of Minnesota. But the more you pay attention, especially go check out Spike Cohen here on YouTube, and check out You Are the Power. I had Spike on my channel for Libertarian Lowdown, or I had him on for Libertarian Lowdown some time ago. I think it was like a month ago that he was on, and or a month and a half ago that I had him on, and that's one of the places that he really focuses his attention is Child Protective Services, Department of Children and Families and Safety, and every state and every county has their own terminology for that, but really need to go and dig into Spike Cohen's content and You Are the Power, because this is a rampant problem across the United States. Now, one of the things that I am considering when I look at Pam's story is the impact that it has on child care services, daycare services in Plainview in particular, and the way that they went about shutting her down. I want to know if anybody opened a daycare shortly after or right around the same time that Pam was closed, and if the people who opened that daycare have any connections to any of the people in Wabasha County Department of Human Services or Welfare Department. Because Pam had a very loyal clientele, people who loved her and people who have sworn that they would give testimonies, and in the news stories that were run, people did give some testimony on behalf of Pam. And I believe that there was something, I don't know this for a fact, but it just reeks of protectionism or cronyism. Like somebody wanted unfettered access to other people's business. And what better way to get your friend's business than to shut down a competitor? Now, I don't know that we could ever prove that, but it's just something, it just reeks. And it makes me think that I want to know how many people who could no longer go to PAM ended up going to a new daycare that had just opened, or to a daycare that was open prior but has connections to any of the people who or relationships with any of the people who were involved in shutting PAM down. And that's really hard to find, and I'm sans a researcher for a while, so yeah. So I'm still working on those stories. I'm working on Pam. I'm working on Marcy. I am in communication with a family from Owatonna who had their son was tragically killed just back in October, and it's very clear that it was at the very least a vehicular homicide. It may have been an actual murder, and please do not use CP. Use CPS. Do not use CP. People do not understand how bad that looks in the algorithm. Please do not use CP. I'm asking nicely. I'm demanding very, very pleasantly. Do not use the initials CP anymore. Thank you. I'm suppressed the way it is. Like, folks, I'm damn near to. No, that's okay, dude. You go right ahead and force your way over. Yes, CPS. Thank you. Where was I? Oh yeah, this family in Owatonna. At the very least, it was a vehicular homicide, and I think it reeks of a potential murder. And I am in communication with the surviving family members who are very interested in coming on and talking after they've had a little bit more time to heal. And hey, Bips here, and Tim Fox is here. Wonderful. Good to see you guys all. I am still working on. I have a very interesting email to share with you guys, and I'm gonna do that. But I'm working on another data request from the Fillmore County Sheriff's Office, and as it regards the election night debacle. If you guys haven't watched the video from Monday night, where it's just the audio with pictures of the individual people speaking, please go back and watch that, and then watch my commentary from last night. I'm really shocked that my commentary from last night did not get a little bit more traction for viewing, because I was on fire. I was fired up. TC experienced a glitch in programming, and at one point went completely off the rails last night. But it was somebody, a local friend of mine, watched it and said that was the funniest. The last half of that was some of the funniest stuff I have ever seen. They really, they really enjoyed me labeling Amber Jabba the Judge, and like going into detail about and being Jabba the Hutt at home. So off the rails is an understatement. Yeah, hey, it happens from time to time. I am often accused of being way too serious, and it's true. I'm a very sour, dour individual. But sometimes I like to have fun when I'm pissed off at people, and that I needed it, that outlet for that commentary that I put out last night. But yeah, I'm still working on some stuff for that. What I would really like for you guys before I get to the actual update, Studio Road Rage, yes. And if you guys haven't seen it yet, I made a political commentary, non-accountability, digging at cops playlist that's strictly of dash cam video stuff that I have been capturing since I got my nice little Vantru. This is not a sponsored ad. I got a Vantru system, and I love it. It does a really good job of capturing video for me, and has helped me provide a lot of content of cops behaving poorly and others. But I decided to do a dash cam playlist, and I've got 2 videos up there so far, and there's going to be more coming because I'm running into interesting things on a rather daily basis. When you drive around and work in the 3rd largest metro area in the state of Minnesota, you're bound to run into something interesting on dash cam. It is a 2-camera system with the camera, the dash cam itself showing a cab camera and a front-facing camera, and then it has a separate camera for the back. I do not have a 4-way system where I can catch both traffic to the left and right. I just didn't find that nearly as necessary. So, hey Spliffy, thanks for being here. But yeah, so I'm working on some more data requests for the election night stuff, and I'm relatively certain that the election night situation is far from over. I have, at the very least, I have enough grounds for a formal complaint against Jordan Lightford and in her capacity as deputy city clerk and as senior election judge or head election judge, as well as a formal complaint on Amber Marie Ziggin, as well as I believe on the other guy Jeff Thawell, who tried to get the cops to escort me, the deputies to escort me through the voting process. So you would not believe the number of people who were just absolutely in shock at what they were asking for. Will I be going to another? Oh yeah, I'm pretty much going to be going to all the council meetings going forward, but I know that a formal complaint against Amber Ziggin is kind of empty now, just because I have received assurances that she will never be an election judge in Spring Valley again. But I'd like to see Jeff Thawell removed from that position as well, because I found his encouragement of Amber and talking about her command authority to be unprofessional. He should have called her out for her behavior, not encouraged her. Then asking the deputies to escort me as if I'm some sort of dangerous, radical, stochastic terrorist or something. That really pissed me off. Actually, maybe even more than Ziggin asking for me to be arrested. That just, I am going to be clipping that out and sending that to the city. I did take the city in the content from me, but I am going to be sending that to the city clerk. And someone that I know on the inside has watched it, and they're just astounded, shocked at the behavior of all the judges, the ones that were in the video. But yeah, it is a result, isn't it? But yeah, I'm far from done calling calling them out. And if you guys go back and watch my speech where I took on the mayor head to head and got very upset with him because he would not even make eye contact with me. He just treated me with just absolute disrespect when I began to address him about the events on the election night. He stopped paying attention to the room, looked down at his papers, and started writing. And yeah, I tore into him a little bit, and I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad at all. It was much needed. And I had somebody reach out to me and said it's the first time anybody's ever called him out for it, and that he does it all the time. So, well, Bip, I know I'm crazy, but that doesn't make me dangerous. Everybody be keeping the angry vet in your prayers too. They're kind of running him through the ringer right now, and I don't know the totality of everything that's going on, but he's been just under attack after attack after attack ever since they tried to throw him in prison for 40 years, and he got away with, or not got away, but came out from underneath that with probation. Yeah, don't make me. I don't know what happened. Go and check on the Angry Vet. If you're not a regular Angry Vet viewer, go check on and comment on one of his videos and tell him TC from Minnesota Black Regiment sent you. He's the Angry Vet, and you'll see that he has no problem with embracing his anger. Yeah, the VA needs to be completely shut down. AVA, I 100% agree. You've heard my theory, or I have posited that if we were to take all the money that is spent on the VA, just on the VA, not on veterans, but if we were to take all the money that is spent on the Department of Veterans Affairs or the Veteran Affairs Administration, if we were to take all the VA money that's spent just on their staff and just on all the building upkeep and building new buildings and buying new shit all the time, if we take just that, if we could take just that and give that proportionally, equally to every vet in the United States, divided up equally to all living vets, we would solve the veteran healthcare crisis in overnight. It would absolutely solve the problem, absolutely overnight. No questions asked. It would. There would be no more homeless vets unless they absolutely chose to just be homeless. But a lot of the homeless vets that are out there, and there's a big chunk of homeless vets out in California, AVA can attest to that. They would, a lot of them are homeless because they can't get the care they need, and so they can't take care of themselves, so their mental health is in decline. And one of the first things that happens with people who can't get the care they need for their mental health is they become disconnected from society. They become homeless. It's just the way it is. Homelessness is very much a mental health crisis. It's not just a drug user crisis. It's not just a hooker crisis. It is very much a mental health crisis, and it is impacting the veterans of the United States military in ways that are, it's damning. It's damning on our society. It's damning on all the Americans, all the red-blooded, patriotic, I love the military people out there, because they don't give a flying shit about the vets. They really don't. So, yeah, we're we're gonna be working, especially through Veteran Nation, to be talking about military issues and VA issues and veteran issues. And folks, Donald Trump just flaps his mouth and talks about how he's going to end this war in Ukraine, between Russia and Ukraine, and it's going to be over overnight. Don't forget that man is deep in the pocket of geopolitical Israel. Oh, yeah, no, Tim, I know that is a big problem. It's a strange form of stolen valor, but yeah, it's definitely a big problem, especially in more climate-friendly areas like California and Florida, Texas. But yeah, we're gonna be covering those stories. But Trump flaps his mouth about ending the war between Russia and Ukraine, but he is ramped up to be on the side of backing Israel in their war to dominate the Middle East. And if we could keep our troops out of Europe and Eastern Europe, that just frees them up to be sent down in the Middle East, where they will be run through the ringer again. So folks, we'll be talking about that on Vet Nation. We'll be talking about that on my channel as things progress. And if you guys haven't, if you want to hear the truth about how geopolitical Zionist Israel has treated American military service members, just go and find my playlist where Skipper and I talk with survivors from the USS Liberty, who will tell you straight up that ship was intentionally attacked by Israel in an effort to provoke the United States into a massive war in the Middle East. Yes, I absolutely agree. We need to give it up for our vets. Absolutely, 100%. And the best way we can do that is dismantling the VA and giving them, all the vets, the money. Thank you for feeding me that. So, here's the update, because I'm almost home and I've enjoyed chatting with you guys. I always do. Here is the update that I've been wanting to give you. So you guys most of you who have been watching me for a while know that I broke the story about Trooper Shane Roper and his driving record and his disciplinary history with the Minnesota State Patrol before he killed Olivia Flores back on May 18th. I broke that story before anybody else. Absolutely before anybody else in the state of Minnesota did. I was attacked for that. I had all these people who tried to discredit me, and you guys know most of that. They called me all sorts of names, said I was crazy, said I was fired from the sheriff's office. I was fired for being a radical, fired for being bad at my job. Both of those things are untrue. I was not fired. I wasn't a radical, and I was never bad at my job. I was very good at what I did, and I'm not always proud of that. But I was a very good deputy, and I earned a lot of respect from people who are now no longer in the criminal justice system, who have changed their lives around. When I talk to them, a lot of them watch, by the way. A lot of them watch my content. But I've also been covering, as much as I can, another story that took place in September with another Minnesota State Patrol trooper who was involved in another accident in Rochester, where he was responding to a two-car accident, non-life-threatening, no injuries. One of the drivers got out and fled the scene, and he was responding to that at full speed. Is my understanding. He did, according to the State Patrol, they were very quick to announce that he had his lights and sirens on. And as I pointed out, Minnesota state law, not only does it require law enforcement, if they're responding to an emergency, to have lights and sirens, but it also requires them to drive with due diligence and caution as it concerns traffic, to properly clear intersections, to make sure they're not just blindly running through red lights. And that trooper was involved in a 2-car accident where neither the trooper nor the other person were severely injured. Very, very minor injuries. The state patrol car was wrecked beyond, I would say basically beyond repair. And Rochester, Minnesota Police Department took that under their wing and began an investigation. And they have not given any updates since September about this. And now we're going on October, November, December. We're 3 months, folks. It's today, 3 months today, basically, since it was announced and updated that they were going to investigate. They've yet to release any information, but we did a data request to get the body cams, the dash cams, and all the reports, and Rochester Police Department refused to release any of it to us as a media outlet, stating that the investigation has been concluded and the files have been forwarded to the Olmsted County Attorney, Mark Ostrom, for a charging decision. Now, I could be wrong. I very well could be wrong, but I feel like 3 months for a minor accident, something is going on. They did forward it for charging, but if they had charged, I believe, the non-law enforcement driver, they would have announced charges already. So I think there's something is being hidden here. For some reason, something is being hidden. And I'm pulling into the driveway, folks, so just bear with me here. I'm going to wrap this up quick. I do believe they're hiding something for some reason, that they haven't announced what the potential charges are, that Mark Ostrom has not announced whether or not he is going to charge. And we got that information just over a couple of weeks ago, and I wanted to sit and wait a little bit to see what they would announce, if they would announce, and they have not announced. So I don't know what's going on. I feel like they're hiding something. And I'll be the first to say, if they aren't hiding something, if it comes out that they do charge the trooper and they give full disclosure, or if they charge the non-law enforcement individual, and we have to stop calling cops and other people like, here's civilians and these are cops. Cops are civilians as well. We got to stop giving them military cred. If it comes out that they have decided to charge the trooper and they fully disclose why, I'll be the first to say, hey, props, Mark Ostrom. Or if there was nothing to charge a trooper with, yeah, the longer it takes, the more evidence they can hide. Absolutely. So some of you have been following me this whole time, knowing that I've been covering this and been doing updates here and there, and I'm very concerned that they're hiding something, that they're covering something up, trying to make it go away. And if they wait long enough, then they can say, oh, well, there was something there to charge, but it's too late now. So, yeah, I hope you guys are all well. Thank everybody for the support. I got to go check on the chickens to see what's going on. They're not out waiting for me tonight. It might be a little too dark and a little too cold. I do see one head sticking out of the coop area. So, you guys have been great. We're going to try and do a whole day chicken stream tomorrow with no flow ups. And then tomorrow night, my conversation with Derek is going to drop it. YouTube accidentally dropped it late last night, and that was a mistake, so I deleted it. So, yeah, we'll have that up tomorrow for you guys to watch tomorrow night, 7:15 Central. I hope you guys are well. Thanks so much for everything that you do. Thanks for supporting the channel. Thanks for being channel members. If you're not a channel member, please consider doing so. I will be setting a bunch of videos to channel members only and removing monetization to some older stuff for you guys to go back through and view the channel members only things. And without monetization, there should be no ads. So that would be, that's one of the perks and one of the benefits of that I've decided to add in for channel memberships. That you can go back and watch older content without ads. So all your support in every way, watching, coming back and commenting after the video processes, hitting the like button, sharing it with other people, talking, chatting with me. And don't forget, I'm planning on a channel members live stream conversation this weekend for channel members only. And I will be providing a StreamYard link if you want to come in via avatar or video to chat with other people that are members. You will be welcome to do that. So be looking for a schedule on that. I'm stuck with that ugly yellow star for 6 months. I've got to come up with some things, but I'm no good at creating stickers. I got to probably get with Georgie from the Wilburns. She might be able to help me with that. So you guys have a great night. I will see you all tomorrow for Freedom Flock stream. And thanks so much for the support. And until next time, fight for your liberty, it is yours. Fight for your freedom, it belongs to you. And Sic Semper, Tyrannus.